This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net, and it is time for What in the World with...
Well, let's see. Let me check my notes. Paul Seaburn.
Yeah, that's us. Yes.
That's right, Paul.
Great. Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm doing great. I got my post-op visit for my eyes.
Oh, great.
And I'm 20/20 distance, but close up, I'm only 20/30. So I've got to wear the reading glasses.
Oh, how awful.
Yeah. Otherwise, you and John would look blurry.
more than usual, Karen, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's right. For those of you listening to the podcast, you can kind of figure out how old all of us are.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Opening with medical issues.
Hey, I'm proud of being, 103.
Oh, that's it. That's in dog years. No, that's not right.
A good one, Paul. Good one.
Holy smoke! I'm sorry, there, Karen.
That's okay. I will accept.
Apologizing to Karen Hale, the lovely producer of our show and media mogul at NewClevelandRadio.net, which is our platform for What in the World that you're listening to right now, and maybe even watching us live. Somewhere on the screen is John DiNallo, our sports guy. Hi, John.
Hey, hi, Paul. Hi, Karen.
Hi, John.
We're not going to ask you about your medical problems because we just don't have enough time, John.
I'll keep it confidential at this point.
Okay.
Keep it confidential. That's right. We'll post it on Facebook. How's that?
Hey, yeah.
So anyways, yes, we are here at What in the World, everyone's favorite weird news show. That's all we talk about. Our motto is real news, sometimes strange, always funny. We talk about news stories from around the world, around the outer space, around the universe. All of it is real, taken from real news sources on the internet. You can find out more about them if you look me up on Facebook or at mysteriousuniverse.org, where I'm the editor and head writer, and a lot of those stories come from there. But on What in the World, the big difference is we have a blast talking about them. We like to have more fun than is legal in some states.
You got
fortunately, it. Yes. Fortunately, Ohio's not one of them. So, and as long as YouTube lets us get away with it, we're completely happy. So, anyways, we've got some great stories this week, as always. I hope that I will once again baffle Karen with the strangeness of them. John just is skeptical about everything. So he's our voice of reason.
Yes, he is.
I try to be anyway.
You do a fine job at that, John. And also with sports. John has a very strange sport for us today.
Oh, it is.
As usual.
Yes, it is very strange, folks. It really is.
For those of you listening to the podcast, I want to mention right up front that we do have a number of photos that go along with the stories. I'll try to describe them for you. Please come and visit us on YouTube, and you can take a look at the weird photos. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so around the world, as always, we're going to go to England, where we give some dating advice to a woman who dumped men for an extraterrestrial.
Wow.
We've got, we always talk about world records. I've got the world's longest eyelashes. We're going to learn a little bit about that. From Mysterious Universe, I've got some UFO stories, including a network of UFO tracking stations being built by our own Air Force. So that's a sign of something. We'll find out what. For the music lovers in Ecuador, they found a frog that they've never seen before, and they named it the Led Zeppelin frog. So we're going to learn why they did that. For the younger crowd, Batman and Catwoman got censored this week, and we're going to find out why they got censored. We're going to talk about Frankenstein rats in China. And the world's tallest man was in the news this week. So we're going to find out what he was doing. Let's see, what else? And some more weird news stuff. Then we'll have John with his weird sport of the week. And we'll close out with everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the Co-host.
Absolutely.
That's right. So place your bets now and be ready. So let's get right to our first world record story, and that's the lady with the world's longest eyelashes. Now, Karen, women are always more conscious of their eyelashes than
Yeah, especially me.
there you go. See, there you go. Those are nice. Do you know how long your eyelashes are? Now that's
Have no
without,
idea.
without all the stuff that
Now they're pretty short.
pretty short. How
Yeah.
short would you think they would be? Take a guess. An
Mm,
inch?
no. Oh no. Maybe
No,
quarter of an inch.
quarter of an inch. John, what do you think the average eyelash is?
Wow, that's a tough question, Paul.
That's why you're here, John. That's why people tune in to get the answers to tough questions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say the average is going to be 3/4 of an inch.
3/4. Oh, 3/4
Ooh.
of an inch. Wow. It's a half an inch, just under half an inch, about 0.4
Okay.
inches.
Okay.
So a woman in China, the reason why we'd be talking about her, has set the world record not once but twice for the world's longest eyelashes. And in 2016, now I got out of sequence here. Let's try this. In 2016, she set the record for the first time. There she is. Her eyelashes at that time
Oh my
were,
gosh.
yeah.
How can she grow them that long? Mine.
Well, we'll find.
Oh, okay.
She has one of those little pinchers that you ladies use, except hers is really long.
Oh, I don't use it anymore. That hurts.
I can imagine. I don't know how you ladies do that, but anyway, so her lashes at that time were 4.9 inches long. So that was in 2016. In 2021, she went back to the Guinness people and had them measured again. And this is a photo of her now. They are now 8 inches long.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, when she pulls on them, for those of you who can't see, they reach her chin. That's how long her eyelashes are.
Wow.
And everybody feels the same when they see eyelashes that long. No plucking way they could be that.
Yeah. So right.
And there you go. She's afraid to curl them, like the ladies tend to do, because she looks like her eyelashes, her eyelids look like they have little orphan Annie hair.
Yeah.
So the poor thing, she never gets a date because she can't bat her eyelashes because they're just so long. It weighs down her eyelid.
And those are her bottom lashes.
Apparently so. Yes, that's what it looks like. I think that's why it doesn't interfere with her life too much. Now, she claims that she had normal eyelashes until 2015, when she had just come back from a trip to the mountains. She said she spent a year and a half in the mountains. And when she came back, they mysteriously started growing. Now, the only thing I can think of is it was caused by the mountains that she visited. And those would be the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, that was
really
good.
I know. She really did go to the mountains. I must have been the Himalayas or something like that. And I couldn't come up with a good joke for Himalaya, but Appalachian.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever.
We'll give you that one.
So for those of you who know little about eyelashes like I did, you are actually born with your eyelashes already a standard length. They grow in the uterus. There's only one layer, so straight across. I thought there might have been, it might be staggered or two rows of them. But there's one layer on the top, one layer on the bottom, and they're very sensitive, which Karen points out. It hurts to play with them, and there's a reason for that. Nature designed them that way so that if something comes close to your eye, that's the first thing that feels it, and you close your eyes. The way it goes. If you pluck them, how long does it take them to grow back, Karen? Do you remember doing that?
I've never plucked my eyelashes, eyebrows, but not eyelashes.
So there are people who pluck their eyelashes.
Ooh.
Yeah. How about that? It grows back in 7 weeks. And so now you do use eyeshadow and eyeliner and mascara, all those things.
Yep.
Believe it or not, all that stuff dates back to ancient Egypt. They were the first to use, I don't know, mud from the Nile or whatever it is they use. Cleopatra was famous for that. Sticking it on their eyes and than batting them. And John, this is for us. You can actually get eyelash transplants. Unfortunately, only on your eyelid and not on your head or any place else where you would wish you could get them.
Well stated.
Wow.
Well stated,
We can't win. We just can't win.
really.
So anyways, that's the lady with the world's longest eyelashes. I think that's our, we have one more world record coming up. So now we go to the Andes, to Ecuador. And in Ecuador, some scientists went out, they study frogs. They're always looking for new frogs. So they went to the Andes, another mountain in Ecuador, found a new species of frog, terrestrial frogs, which means that they live on the ground, not in trees. And they named them, and I'm going to read it here, the Pristimantis Led Zeppelin, which in Ecuadorian means Led Zeppelin's rain frog. And they named it obviously after the band. I think I have a picture of the frog here. They named it after the band simply because they liked the band. But however, once they started studying it, they found that they picked the right name for the Led Zeppelin frog because it eats beetles and crickets, it hides under rolling stones, and its croaks scare the animals.
Oh.
For you kids
Okay.
out there, those are old band names.
Yep.
From 50 years ago. Now, so I know, John, you're thinking, wow, they found a Led Zeppelin frog. Did the discovery leave them dazed and confused? Or did they find it in a tree by the brook after hearing a bustle in the hedgerow? Which, a quote from Stairway to Heaven. I wasn't going to ask you, John, because I knew you'd get that one.
Well, thanks, Paul. Appreciate that.
I'm saving the harder ones for our trivia master over here.
Very good. Very good.
There you go. So that's from our story from Ecuador. I'm going to leave that picture up because I've got another one here. So now here's our other world record. This one comes from China. So there's this aquarium in China, and they have dolphins in the aquarium. And somebody threw plastic into the aquarium, and the dolphins ate it. So unfortunately, the dolphins were very skittish after eating the plastic. I would be too. And the veterinarians couldn't reach into their stomachs far enough to pull the plastic out. So what would you do if you were a veterinarian and you couldn't reach far enough into a dolphin's stomach? You call the world's tallest man, and that would be this guy here.
Oh my God.
His name is Bao Zishun, and he's 7'9", 7 feet 9 inches tall. He's a herdsman from Inner Mongolia, not Outer Mongolia. They're much shorter out there. Inner Mongolia, and that's a picture of him. He towers almost twice as tall as the man he's walking next to.
Wow.
He has 41.7-inch long arms, exactly the length that he needed to reach into the dolphin's throat, down into the stomach, and pull the plastic out and
Seriously?
save the dolphin. So the veterinarians were so impressed, they said, we have a shark that swallowed the plastic too. And this guy gave them the world's longest finger.
Good for him.
His fingers are huge. I think I have a picture of a hand, not of his. It turns out not long after the story, they found somebody taller than him, believe it or not. His name, he's from Turkey. Sultan Kosin is his name. And I believe I have a photo of him. Yeah, there he is. This guy is 8 feet, 2.8 inches tall. So he's a full do the math. I should have done the math ahead of time. He's 5 inches taller than the previous guy, than the dolphin.
I couldn't invite him over to my house. My ceilings aren't that tall.
No kidding. No kidding. He is, for those who can't see, there's a picture of him in a room next to a chandelier, and he could change the bulbs in the chandelier with his lips.
Yeah.
That's how tall he is.
Wow.
There's another one, he's holding a full-size can of soda, and it looks like he's holding like a 6-ounce can.
Yeah.
Tiny little thing. And he doesn't even have to stretch to dunk a basket. He's standing underneath a basket, and his hand is far above the rim with the ball. So John, this is at this point, since we're talking about basketball here, I want to ask you, do you know who the tallest NBA player in history was?
That's a great question, Paul. I'm going to have to hazard a guess here.
Okay.
I'm going to say Manute Bol.
Manute Bol, someone with a Cleveland connection, by the way.
Cleveland State. Played at Cleveland State. Yes, he did. Many years ago.
Yes. Cleveland. He was recruited by Cleveland State University. Never played for them. In fact, got them into trouble because they illegally recruited him. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the tallest NBA player. Your answer, John, is the second tallest NBA player. The tallest NBA player is George Murasan, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who's Romanian. He was Manute Bol measured 6 feet 3 1/4 inches tall. What did I say his name was? George Murasan is a full 7 feet 7 inches tall, just an inch shorter than the guy who reached into the stomach.
Oh my gosh!
Of the Dolphins. Yeah. So here's there's a picture. I had a picture of him with Michael Jordan, but I didn't have the rights to it. So this is he has to almost bend to his waist to get through a doorway, and plays with tiny little players. They can dribble between his legs if they're brave enough. So anyway, yeah. When the lovely Donna and I lived in Houston, we were there at the time that Yao Ming played there, and Yao Ming was 7 feet 6 inches tall. So he was as tall as the tallest the dolphin grabber. So this guy, I didn't know this, John. He played for the Washington Bullets, which are now the Washington something.
Wizards.
Thank you. He was actually a pretty good player. He was named most improved player for the 1995-96 season, averaged 14.5 points a game, 9.6 rebounds. What a shock. 2.26 blocked shots. You would have thought maybe a few more. And a league leading 58.4% shooting percentage. So, he just stood under the basket. They threw it to him and he dunked it in. So there you go. That's our basketball trivia for this week.
Paul, did it say how many years he played by any chance? Did it say how many years he played in the NBA?
I think he played close to 10 years.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I don't remember. I remember Manute Bol. I don't remember this guy. I must have been interested in another sport, cheese rolling or something.
Yeah, probably.
Toe wrestling, probably.
For our longtime fans, they'll remember the sport of cheese rolling. Anyway, so let's go to China. Back to China, where the story first started. And I'll take this one down here. I think we're done with some photos for a while here. So, and Karen, you're going to be grateful I didn't bring a photo of this particular story.
Okay.
In China, some biological scientists tried to be Dr. Frankenstein. And what they did was they sewed together rats, a male rat and a female rat, and made it so that the male rat could utilize the female rat's uterus. And then they implanted rat embryos in the uterus, and they actually grew to term. They were born. They lived to be adults, and they had their own kids. Just an absolute Frankensteinian scenario from the start to finish. Gross looking pictures. I couldn't show them, but of course, they're making it into a movie, and the role of the Frankenstein rat will be played by Johnny Depp. He's perfect for those kind of roles. Now, for our longtime listeners will remember, we like to give dating advice, unusual dating advice, particularly to people who are tired of dating humans and would like to date out of that particular species. I tried to be nice, John. Thank you.
Okay.
So So this particular lady, she lives in, she's Polish, lives in England. Her name is Abby Bella. And Abby is an actress who claims that she got tired of dating men. So one night, I'll give you a quote while I'll quote her directly. Here's our basketball players here. Here's Abby. So you can take a look at her, the
Oh
lovely
my
Abby.
God.
With so nice looking lady. Abby says, so I am sick of men on earth. So I joked online about wanting an alien to abduct me. Then I started dreaming every night of a white light. One night, a voice in my dream said, wait in the usual spot. The next evening, I sat next to my open window. As I drifted to sleep, a flying saucer appeared outside. There was a bright green beam which transported me to the UFO. How about that? So she goes
Right.
to the UFO. Now, she was born in Poland. She's lived in the United States, United Kingdom, Argentina, lived all over the place. She's a professional actress. She's also a comedian, go figure. An interesting link here, one of her roles was as the Russian cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman in a movie about the first woman in space. And she also plays the star, a female archaeologist with a secret in a movie called Full Bodied. Now, I think she's well qualified
Yes.
to be in a movie called Full Bodied. But anyways, so she can't find the right guy, so she wishes for an alien, and an alien shows up at her window. So she says there were when she gets on the plane on the flying saucer, there's 5 aliens. So she's thinking, orgy. But instead only one liked her. So naturally she says they spent 20 minutes together. So this is a long time by human male standards. And he actually asked her for consent. So she
How
loved
nice
that.
of him. Yes.
I know. these aliens, they're trying to impress us. And then he said he wanted to take her to Andromeda, which is where they're from, but she didn't want to go yet. She was going to think about it. So they sent her back to her room. So now they haven't come back for her yet, and she's worried. So she's got her bags packed. She says she's right by the bed, so if they do come back, and she wishes for him to come every night, she's definitely going to Andromeda. Now, of course, John, she has no proof that alien that you see there is not her alien.
I would hope not.
I would hope not.
No, it's for those who can't see it, it's an inflatable green alien. Let's hope it's not anatomically correct, because she'd be in big trouble if it was. I talked about this on Mysterious Universe. To me, this sounds like a publicity stunt, because she's got a new movie coming out, and she gets picked up by all these tabloids and by Mysterious Universe to give her all this publicity for her movie. But she brags about it. She's on across the Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. She's everywhere. So here's my prediction. My prediction is that the alien's not going to come back.
Probably not.
But instead,
what do you think she's hiding on the top of her head? Maybe she has antenna.
Oh, I think so. I think she did. Yeah. Very observant of you, Karen. I didn't even see those. I thought maybe that was the latest in style, but
I don't think so.
She looks like she has 2 mutant ponytails on the top of her head that could be antennas.
Yeah.
So anyways, my prediction is that this is all going to blow over, and the next time we see Bella, will be starring in her new movie, 50 Shades of Grey Aliens.
Oh.
Well, Paul, what she could have done.
Oh, yes, John.
She got a photograph. Maybe it was even a grainy photograph of the alien to kind of prove her case, right?
As always, John, absolutely right. In the authentic. If it was clear, like this picture here, we can see that it's definitely not an alien. So, anyways, now I have one more Dear Abby type story for us here. So this comes from England, and this guy, he decides he wants to propose to his girlfriend. So he buys a ring. He pays $1,300 for an engagement ring, and he has the perfect spot to propose. It's at the top of a hill. I'll give you the name of the hill in a second. So he climbs up the hill with the ring in his pocket, and he has it, and he's going to give it to her at the top of the hill. So he says, his name is George. He has his the Simonside Hills, they're called. So he obviously didn't know enough about it. He lives in England. He didn't know enough about it. He climbs up the hill and he says, I'm going up there and I have the ring in my pocket because I already had my wallet in there and I didn't want to have a random bulge in that I couldn't explain. Now, I'm sure he had a non-random bulge or two because he's going to propose to his girlfriend. But he didn't want her to figure out that he had a ring in her pocket. George Goddard is his name. So they climbed 1,300 feet to the top of this hill. I'm going to show you the hill here. And also, this comes from the Simonside Crags website, which promotes that it is home of the Duergar. Now, John, take a wild guess what a Duergar might be.
Oh, I'm going to say a Duergar is a dragon.
A dragon, close enough. It's a dwarf, but it's an evil dwarf.
Oh, okay.
So this hill is notorious for being overrun by, they call them evil dwarf gangs. Thank God we don't live in Simonside yet. So they also known as Broman, Bogles, and the Simonside dwarfs. They've been there forever. English folklore. They're creatures of the night. They meet up with hikers after dark, and they always have a torch. And the hikers, if they're there after dark, they're lost. And the little dwarfs say, "Oh, follow me, follow me," and they lead them right into the bog and drown them. So this guy, so he doesn't know this. So he's taking his girlfriend up there to propose with these dwarves all over the place. He gets to the top, he reaches into his pocket, and the ring is gone. Yeah, $1,300 engagement ring. It's gone. Can't find it anywhere. So now he has to admit to her why he's all nervous that he was going to propose, but he doesn't have the ring. And she goes, "Yeah, right." So he says, "No, really, I don't have the ring. I was going to propose, but I think the dwarves got it." So then they start looking for it. Instead of running for help, they go looking for it. And they spend 4 hours. They can't find it. They go back down the hill. And, so he believes that he's cursed. He's cursed by these dwarves. He goes on Facebook. Well, apparently the dwarves don't have, I have a picture of one of the dwarves, by the way. There you go. That's what they look like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're pretty hideous. Hideous. They have
Yeah.
Some kind of weird implement that they stab people with. There's one of the torches. One of the guys.
I think they're related to Jimmy Durante.
Oh, Karen, you win the prize for oldest reference of the show. The Jimmy, for you kids out there, Jimmy Durante was a comedian, vaudeville comedian. So we're going back to the 20s and 30s, who was known for a very large nose, which is what dwarfs have. Of course, and I think he bragged about this. Large nose means large something else.
Yes.
So I guess I don't know. So anyway, so this guy goes to to Facebook, and he posts on Facebook that he lost his engagement ring on those hills. And sure enough, 15 minutes later, somebody said, "Oh, I found it." So they immediately ran over there and they got it, and he knelt down and he put in fact, I have a picture of him here with the ring. There's the happy couple.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, there you go. So this guy's he's a PhD. So, he's one of these absent-minded professor types. So, now she's worried because he likes these hills. So she doesn't want to go back on these hills anymore because the dwarves are going to bother him again. In fact, they have a reputation for going after beautiful girls. And she's obviously a lovely lady. So so she's going to, I think she's either going to get him a fanny pack to carry stuff in so it doesn't fall out of his pocket.
Good idea.
Or learn how to sew.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a better idea. Sew up the holes in this goofball's pocket. So anyway, I apologize, George. I think it was a lovely thought, but next time check and see if your hill is swarming with dwarf gangs.
Yeah.
All's well that ends well, right?
Yes.
There you go. That's right. So now, Karen, as much as I wanted to show a picture of this, I don't want to be banned from Facebook or what are we on? YouTube.
Yes.
On YouTube. So anyway, this story came from the comic book world, the graphic novel world. And it turns out Batman and Catwoman have been banned from HBO, of all places, by DC Comics. Now, DC
Why?
Comics, well, good question. The reason is that HBO is showing a program called, what's it called? Harley Quinn, which is another DC character. And in Batman and Catwoman are characters on there. And in one scene, Batman and Catwoman have oral sex.
Oh.
And this is where Catwoman is the receiver, and that's as far as I'll go. I think you can figure the rest out for yourself. If you Google it, there's a picture of the act as it's happening. Unfortunately, DC Comics said this about that. They said he's a hero. Heroes don't do that, which I'm sure Superman would say, no, please, I'd love to do that. I'm Superman. I can do anything. And every 13-year-old boy in the world who has action figures has already done it with the action figures. So heroes do it all the time, just not on HBO, apparently. And John, I think I have a picture of, there we go. There they are having a nice intimate kiss. Of the normal kind, possibly the French kind. I think Catwoman may be French.
Yeah.
But John, we grew up with Batman being Adam West and Catwoman being Julie Newmar. If Adam West and Julie Newmar had oral sex on that show, it would still be on the air.
Yes, it would be.
I don't care how old they are. I'd still watch them. Julie Newmar, come on.
Sure.
So anyway, so that's the story of Batman and Robin and their censorship. Now I've got a quick story here from Australia, and I'm just going to put the photo up here while I talk about it. The residents of Portland in Southwest Victoria in Australia are wondering who built this thing. This is a sea monster. It looks like the Loch Ness monster made out of tires.
Yeah.
And yeah, it only shows up when it's low tide. When it's high tide, it disappears, and no one will take credit for it. No one will explain it. They don't know where it came from. They don't want to remove it because people are coming to see it now. It's become a tourist attraction. So, the only person who could possibly explain this is the Michelin Man, but the Michelin Man refuses to cooperate in a general tire sculpture controversy like this. To identify it, and those are 3 tire references, and it looked better on paper than it did.
No, that was good. That was good.
It's not bad, Paul. Yeah.
Now, John and Karen, what do you think? We know what the average work week is, or at least used to be 8 hours. What do you think experts say it should be?
The average work week was 40.
40. Okay, the average work day, 8-hour day.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think it should be?
What do I think it should be?
Yeah.
An hour.
Come on, Karen, play fair. John, what do you think? John, you spent many, many years in the recruiting business. What do you think the average worker would like to work in a day?
I would say in an average, 5 hours.
5 hours. Guess what, John? Too bad we're not playing Bluff the Co-host because you would have won that one. In a recent study, I'll take this guy down here for a second here. In a recent study of productivity, they found that 8 hours is too long. Most people can only concentrate on something for a maximum of 5 hours in a day.
That's better than me.
I was going to say, I didn't believe that people lose their concentration after 5 hours. But what were you talking about? Okay. Next story. Let's move on to the next story. I think we're going to go to, let's go to sports with John here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's we've reached about that time to go to sports. So as always, what in the world of sport with John DiNallo begins with me saying to John, there's got to be some sport that people of our advanced age can participate in. Look around the world and see if you can find a sport that we can do, and maybe we can include Karen in it. Some of our sports we have thought about implementing in Cleveland, actually introducing them to Cleveland. So John, as always, finds a sport for us, sometimes from very far away, which I think this one is. And and I think we can participate in this one, John. I don't know if we want to, but let's find out. So go ahead, John. Take it away with our sport of the week.
Yeah, will do, Paul. Thanks. And I agree with you. I think we could participate in this sport, but it's a question of do we want to or not. And the sport this week, folks, is goanna pulling.
Oh, I was almost going to do a spit take there. What did you say it was?
It's goanna pulling. So let me explain.
Goanna pulling.
Let me explain. So it is
This sounds like something the Batman and Catwoman would do.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a stretch, Paul, so to speak. But anyway, so it's an unusual sport which involves two competitors facing off against one another in a test of strength and technique. They lay prone facing each other, propped up on their arms, as in a stance of the goanna lizard. The goanna lizard has a certain stance that he's noted for, or it's noted for, I should say. And so, again, he's propped up they're propped up on their arms. And that's
there we go.
Is that it?
So this is for Karen. That's a picture of a goanna. For those of you who can't see it,
Oh,
a goanna is kind of an iguana-looking lizard, about the same size as iguanas. The lovely Donna and I, many years ago, were lucky enough to take a trip to Australia, and these things are everywhere. I believe they're edible, if you like eating lizards. So anyway, so this one is on this guy's shoulder. So that tells you about the size of a goanna. So what part of the goanna do you pull during this sport again, John?
Well, what you're doing is you're laying prone, and then
like an iguana.
Like an iguana. You're laying prone on your stomach, and then you're going to be trying to be able to pull. You are connected. Now let me explain. In the competition.
oh my God.
I know Karen was having a hard time picturing it, so I put a picture up for Karen along with the referee. So these two guys, it's kind of a tug of war, right, John? Would you call it a tug of war?
That's a good comparison, Paul.
Except if they told you had to do tug of war, but you can't use your hands and you can't stand up. So
all based on the strength of your neck. And
I'm getting a headache looking at this picture.
Well, let me give you a close up here, Karen.
Oh my God.
There you go. So John, they wrap it looks like a leather strap.
It's a double, Paul. It's a double loop strap. Okay.
Double loop strap, like a belt, but a really big, thick belt around each of their necks, around their head and their neck, while they're laying on their stomachs.
Yes.
And there's a line in between them, like your standard tug of war line.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do they do?
Well, they try to pull each other. So anyway, but
do they yell goanna while they're doing it? Like, goanna, see if you can pull me over.
Well, just so everyone is not concerned, a referee oversees the matches, so there is fairness involved that way.
There's a scary looking goanna puller there for you, Karen.
Sure.
Yeah.
The tradition dates back to the 19th century as an goanna lizard, which is native to woolly Australia and known to be a fierce predator.
Woolly, that's one of those outback cities, yeah.
while no other details are available about its origin, it probably involved beer. You can
Yeah, yeah.
bank.
Of course.
So these lizards, okay, they could be any of several species of lizards of the genus Varanus that are found only in Australia and Southeast Asia. These reptiles are carnivorous and
Ooh.
they grow up to 2 meters or 6.5 feet in length. The most varieties are under 1 meter and rarely attack humans.
Yeah, the Australians are more afraid of crocodiles than they are of goannas. I do know that.
So since 1986, excuse me, the national championship of this unique sport has been held in the seaside village of Woolly in New South Wales, Australia. This is a serious sport in Australia, and male and female goanna wannabes often train for years before entering the competition.
Is that an official term, John? Goanna wannabes?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Goanna wannabes. It's kind of a play on words in itself. So, anyways, it's become a festival-like event for the village, drawing visitors from all parts of Australia. The competition takes place in the Woolly Sports Ground, usually in September or October of each year. Now, the contestants are divided up into 4 divisions: heavyweight, middleweight, lightweight, and trio, which is under 15 years of age. There are both male and female classifications of these divisions. The men can compete in a heavyweight open division, middleweight division, or lightweight division. For the lady goanna pullers, there's an open division, middleweight division, and restricted division. And then for the boys and girls, which is called the try division, there's one open division.
There's a couple of full-bodied female goanna pullers.
That's a nice way of putting it.
There you go. I'm glad I learned that new term from our Polish alien lover.
There's an equal amount of prize money to both male and female competitors.
Oh, there you go. All right.
$500 top prize going to the heavyweight winners. In some years, for some years, prize money has been in excess of $5,600 that's been handed out to the contestants.
Ooh.
Okay.
Not bad.
There's people in action right there.
There you go. Yeah.
Goanna like young people.
Yeah, this is the Tyro division, under 18, I guess.
Oh, 15.
They're not. 15. This is unusual. They're probably not drunk.
Yeah.
Like
never know.
Like the rest of that's true. It's Australia. You never know. You're right.
And I'll leave you with this thought, folks. As they say in Australia, you need a brass neck to be a goanna puller.
Oh, wow.
A goanna puller. I don't, that sure sounds dirty, John, and yet it's not.
It looks so uncomfortable.
Yes, it does. It really does. It's definitely an unusual sport. I'll say that much for it, John. Thank you so much for that one. Sure. You're right. We could do this. We could loop a couple of belts together, and Karen could be our judge as we.
Yeah, I'd have to be the judge because I can't use my knee.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Well, yeah, I guess that they're using their hands and their feet somehow.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. This was, we went looking. I couldn't find an international federation of goanna pullers. So it gives us an opportunity. We can start the U.S. Yeah, we can start the U.S. Goanna Pulling Association. That'd be USGPA. Sounds good to me. All we need is a TV contract, and we're in business.
Yeah.
It also seems it's just particular, though, to that region of Australia. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's many areas where this competition takes place. It's really only in that seaside village, from what I can understand.
Well, yeah. So that's I don't. Don't worry, John. People in Australia have plenty of ways to entertain themselves.
Yeah, and this is one of them. And this is one of them, Paul.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to take that down there. Well, John DiNallo, thank you so much for that. What in the world of sports? Goanna pulling.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy. What happens when we run out of sports like that? Do we start at the beginning again?
We would have to.
All right. So once sports is over, that means it's time for Bluff the Co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. Now, we play Bluff the Co-host every week. For those of you who haven't been here before, it consists of 3 stories, just like the kind that I've been telling all afternoon, with the added challenge that they may be true, or in this case, they may be a bluff. And it's up to Karen and John and you playing at home to decide whether they're real or a bluff.
Absolutely.
That's right. So we allow wagering in Ohio. Our governor said it's okay. You don't even have to go to a casino. Just burn your money because you're not going to win.
Send it to us. Send it to us.
Yeah, send it to us. That's right. Send it to us. Try right. Goanna Pullers, care of Karen. NewClevelandRadio.net. So, anyways, it's like an earworm. I'm never going to get Goanna Pullers out of my head now. So, anyways, we have. So let's get right to it with Bluff the Co-host. Hands on the buzzers, and we're set to begin here. Okay, Canadians are known for their politeness to other humans, but the Japanese are even polite to their sex dolls. That was proven recently when an emergency rescue team was sent to a coastal cliff to save what looked like a woman floating in the water. Upon closer inspection, the rescuers found that the woman was actually a full-size, anatomically correct sex doll. The Japanese EMS thing did the right and polite thing. They rappelled down the cliff with a stretcher and brought the female doll back up to their ambulance. Then they placed her in the vehicle so that no one could see how she expressed her gratitude to them for being rescued by the world's most polite and dedicated EMS team. The Japanese EMS team that rescued a sex doll as if it were a real human being. What a heartwarming story. Is that a real story or a bluff, Karen? What do you think?
Was this a training mission?
That's all. I can't answer any.
Oh, come on. That's not fair. I'm going to say it's false. I mean, unless it was a training mission. No.
Karen says that there's no way even the Japanese, polite as they are, would rescue a sex doll. Okay. John, what do you say?
Well, Paul, on this one, I hope it's false. I just hope it's false.
So John says it's a bluff too. John and Karen both agree that rescuing a sex doll is a bluff. Let's check with the judges here. Bad news, folks. That's a real story.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Yes, people were looking over the edge. They couldn't tell if it was a human or not.
Oh.
So they actually called the whatever the 911, those little funny symbols on the phone in Japanese, and they came out and they did the right thing. They rescued the sex doll. They played it up at that point and put the sex doll in the ambulance and drove off with it. How about that?
What happened to the doll afterwards? Did it go back to its owner? Or
use your imagination, John. Listen, she was a full-bodied doll.
A full-bodied doll. Great.
I should say partner, I would guess.
Let's just say they had some goanna pulling going on in the back of the ambulance. There you go. I'm going to spread that earworm as far as I can spread it. Okay. So let's see. The score is 0-0. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, time for you guys to put your thinking caps on and see if you can do better on story number 2.
Okay.
Everyone knows how much college students on a budget love their ramen noodles. But if you're still eating them 25 years after you've graduated, you may have forgotten much of what you learned in school. A new study of ramen noodles found that eating them over long periods of time actually reduces a person's ability to complete simple cognitive word tests compared to people who gave them up after graduation. So you eat ramen noodles for 25 years, you lose cognitive ability on word test. Using simple word test, researchers found that for every 5 years of eating ramen noodles after college, at least once a week, I'm losing my pellies. Oh, they recalled one less word out of a list of 15. So for every 5 years, they recalled one less word out of the 15. The scientists believe an interaction between the curly noodles, the powdered fish broth in them, and the tiny pieces of dried pork strangely attacks the part of the brain used for remembering words. They recommend throwing out uneaten packages and seeking therapy for any addiction to them. So, eating ramen noodles for 25 years causes you to lose your ability to remember words. John, do you remember what I just said?
Yes, I did, Paul. Yes, I do remember. I'm going to confidently say on this one that it's completely false. It's a false.
Oh, not just a bluff, but completely false.
Completely false.
Completely false.
There's no scientific evidence of that. I find that ludicrous.
Ludicrous. Okay, well, John is pretty adamant about this one, that it's a bluff. Karen, how about you?
Well, first I have to say I'm really hungry right now, and I don't have any ramen noodles in the house.
Are you a ramen noodle fan, Karen?
No.
No. Oh, okay. But
I'm
you'd
hungry.
eat them.
I'm
But
hungry.
you are hungry, so
Yeah.
you'd eat them if you had them.
No. And the only thing I was thinking, they're full of sodium, which is bad for you. But
True.
that'd be bad for your heart, not necessarily for your brain. So I'm going to agree with Mr. John DiNallo.
Okay, so the ramen noodle story that it affects your cognitive abilities is a bluff. That's what
Yes.
both of you are saying. Let's
Yes.
check with the judges here. You're both right.
Thank God.
Oh boy.
Yes, it acts nothing like marijuana or any other substances you may have consumed while you were in college. Okay, well, so that means the score is now tied 1-1. As those who have played the game before know, points are doubled in round 3. So this is a chance to just shoot out ahead for either one of you or end up in a tie. Let's see what happens with story number 3. The summer solstice has come and gone, but druids and hippies upset about not being able to celebrate at Stonehenge this year for the second straight year because of COVID-19 have decided to take matters into their own hands and create Phonehenge, an exact replica of Stonehenge made out of those discarded red telephone boxes that used to be everywhere in England before cell phones took over. Located just a few miles away from the real Stonehenge, Phonehenge is positioned to catch the rays of the sun on the solstices, just like Stonehenge. And the phone boxes are anchored solidly so nothing can knock them over. Anyone can visit Phonehenge for free. Dance, chant, and smoking of the usual substances is allowed. And one of the boxes even works so visitors can call home and take selfies. Okay, so Stonehenge cancellation inspires hippies and druids to create their own Phonehenge for future celebrations. Real or bluff, Karen? What do you say?
Well, I have to say it's a bluff because my husband's been to Stonehenge and he was there when you actually could like get up personal and all that. And he follows things like this and he hasn't shared it with me. So I'm going to say it's a bluff.
Oh, okay. So you're trusting the word of Richard.
I am.
All right, John, how about you? Who do you trust?
Well, I trust myself, first of all. But I'm going to say it's a true story.
John says it's a true story.
I'm going to say it's a true story because people in England and people that are still hippies or druids, as you refer to them.
Be careful, John.
Okay, I'm being careful, but no, I think they would have an interest in doing that. So I'm going to say it's true.
John says it's true. John said there's a real Phonehenge. Karen says her husband never told her about it, so it can't be true.
Yeah.
Was it?
I'll blame him if it is.
All right. Well, let's see. We'll check with the judges here. Guess what, Karen? You can still stay happily married. That is a bluff. Sorry, John.
It's okay.
I won.
Good job.
Wow, this is a comeback for you. I think John has been winning.
He has been. Yeah.
Nicely done, Karen. Very good. Very good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And that means of another world. I want to thank my old friend John DiNallo with What in the World of Sports and being our color commentator and trivia analyst. Thank you, John. Good to see you again.
You're welcome, Paul. Good to see you and Karen both.
Absolutely.
Right. And Karen Hale, our lovely producer and media mogul at nuclearradio.net. Please go there. You can find out how to download What in the World, and also visit the many different podcasts that Karen has for you. You can spend your entire day listening to New Cleveland Radio.
You absolutely could. And we have a new one out there too that's going to compete with you.
Oh, really?
It's called Not Counting Tomorrow.
Oh, I think I know who's starring in that.
Yeah, it's Kieran and Richard Hale. We're
Wow.
talking about marriage. Whoa.
You can't top that. If you have Bluff the co-host, I'm going to complain. I think I'll file with the
okay. You file with the whatever.
Have a governing body of podcasts.
Have a great day, guys.